Hi friends and welcome back to Under the Avo Tree. I have another, excuse me, another yoga practice for you today. Today we're going to focus on a standing sequence and my thinking behind it is that we're working from home, most of us, and also staying at home most of the time. And for me, anyway, that looks like a lot more sitting down than I usually do. At least it feels that way. Maybe it's not true, but I feel like I'm sitting down a lot, not moving so much. So I thought a nice standing practice where we're really like standing on our own 2 feet, supporting ourselves, building some strength and awareness, coming back home into our legs and just feeling that stability and that grounding. So we'll get started now. Just come onto your mat and we'll get going. Okay, so we're going to start in Tadasana, mountain pose. So you're going to have your feet hip distance apart, and if you want to check, you can put your 2 fists together and just place that between the big toes and narrow your feet towards that, or widen them out depending on where you thought your hips were. So we're going to stand here, pressing the feet into the mat, feeling the energy in the legs as you press the feet down. Then you're just going to relax the shoulders down the back, pointing the fingertips down to the mat, the thumb is facing forward, and you're just going to close down the eyes here. And just checking, maybe swaying a little forward and back on the weight of your feet and side to side, just to check that you're centered with your weight. So you want an even balance between the front of the foot and the back of the foot, the left and the right. So once you've gotten to your centered balance, just bringing the attention into your surroundings, noticing any sounds, feeling your feet pressing off the mat, and taking the attention into your body, into the breath, and feeling the movement of the body as you inhale and exhale. Just noticing where the inhale begins and where it ends, where the exhale begins and the exhale ends. And just following this with your attention. We're just going to do 3 full deep breaths on the next inhale, filling up as you breathe into the belly, filling up the lungs, and then exhaling, releasing it out from the lungs and the belly. We'll do it again, inhaling deep into the belly and exhaling all the way out. One last time, inhaling deep into the belly and exhaling. And then just bringing yourself back to your natural breath, becoming aware again of your feet pressing into the ground, imagining the space around you, listening to any sounds, and gently blinking open the eyes. So we're going to stay in Tadasana for a few minutes. We're going to do a few different movements from here. So we're going to start with just bringing the chin down to the chest, and then feeling that nice stretch down through the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders. Just making sure the shoulder blades are drawn together, your hips are stacked underneath your shoulders, and you're still pressing your feet into the mat. Then we're going to roll the head over to the left, so the left ear comes over to the left shoulder. We'll just hold here for a breath or two, feeling that nice stretch on the side of the neck. And we'll come back to center and roll over to the right. So if you're sitting at a desk a lot, this will be really nice. We'll come back to center and over to the left. Especially if you're set up at home, you might not have your desk set up as nicely maybe as it is in the office. You might be getting different neck or shoulder pains compared to usual. Coming back through center, over to the left. Back through center, over to the right. We'll do one more each side. Last time, over to the right. Now come back to center and bring the head back up. I'm just going to draw the shoulders up to the ears, down the back. I have this knot in my shoulder, so every time I do this I hear a click. And then we'll go the opposite direction. Just keeping the arms long. And then one last time up to the ears and then down the back. So we're going to inhale, taking the arms up overhead, looking up. You can take the palms touch, or if that's tight in the shoulders, you can keep them shoulder distance apart. Then exhale, taking them wide and bringing them back down. So each time we do this, we're going to inhale to fill the belly up, slowly moving all the way up. Then exhale, fully emptying out, and your fingers come down as you've completely finished the exhale. We'll do it a few more times. Inhale, filling up, looking up. Exhale, releasing the breath, taking the arms down by the side. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bringing them down. One last time, inhaling up. Exhaling down. We're going to inhale that hands up again. This time when we exhale, we're going to bring the elbows down to shoulder height, so keeping a 90-degree bend in the elbows, fingers pointing up. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring the elbows down, drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale, up. Last time, elbows down. Inhale, reaching up, and then exhale, taking the arms wide and back down by your sides. So we're going to now bring the left hand up to the ceiling, keeping your right hand on the side of the leg, and you're going to walk or slide the right hand down the side of the right leg, reaching over to the right with the left fingertips. So we're getting a nice full side stretch all throughout the side of the left side of the body. Keeping your gaze forward, I don't want to look down, I want the chest to be open, the gaze forward. Just breathing in, filling up the side of the body, feeling that stretch. Exhale, seeing can you reach the right fingertips a little lower. One more inhale. Exhale, come up, letting the left hand come down. We'll reach the right hand up this time. Left hand stays along the left thigh. And we'll inhale to reach up and then over as we exhale, left hand traveling down the left leg. So again, checking in with your feet. Are you still pressing them into the mat? You want strength in the legs here. So pressing the feet with gentleness in the knees. Just checking that shoulder isn't coming up around the ear. You don't want to be like this. So trying to have the shoulder relax as you're reaching. One more inhale. Exhale, coming up and letting the arm down. So we're going to take now the fingertips out in front. So leaving the left hand out in front, and now checking that your hips are square to the front of the room. We're going to take the right fingers around the face of the clock, so first to 3 o'clock. Maybe you stop here, or maybe you continue around, but checking the whole time that your hips are staying square to the front of the room. So you're not turning your hips, they're staying square to the front. So for me, I have a bit of a tightness in my right shoulder. So I'm getting to about 4 o'clock. You can either look at in front or look at that back hand. That looking at that back hand just continues the spinal rotation you're getting here. Taking a nice big inhale. Exhaling, seeing can you go a little further. And then inhaling back to center. We're going to take the left fingertips around now, so reaching over to, so it's 9 o'clock. And then coming all the way back, seeing how far you can go, but not over straining yourself or anything like that. So I can go a little bit further on the left side, but I'm almost at 6 o'clock, but not quite. Breathing fully into the ribs, feeling the sides expand. Exhaling, seeing you go a little further. And then inhaling back to center. You can release your arms down. That's actually, my arms feel like they're burning a little bit. I'm just giving the shoulders a little roll out. Then we are going to come to the top of your mat. So I'm going to come over here. So again, we're still with our feet hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale, lifting the hands up. And exhale, coming half all the way down. fingertips to meet the mat. You're going to inhale to lift halfway, so hands come onto the shins or onto the thighs, and you're reaching back through your hips, reaching forward through the center of your chest and looking forward. Exhale, release. And inhale, take the arms wide and bring yourselves back up, hands overhead, and exhale, hands back down to the heart. Inhale, lifting the hands up, and exhaling, diving down. And inhale again, lifting halfway, so reaching forward through the chest. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, lifting all the way back up to standing. And exhaling the hands back down to the heart. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, hinging at the hips to dive down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, bringing the arms wide, coming up to standing. And exhaling, releasing the hands down to the heart. Last time, inhaling, bringing the arms wide, reaching the fingertips as high as they can go. And exhale, hinging as you dive down. Inhale, lifting halfway, hands coming onto the shins. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, bringing yourself all the way up to standing. And exhale, the hands back down to the heart. So we're going to add on to that now. We're going to do some lunges included in that. So again, making sure you're at the top of your mat. Just taking a nice inhale into the belly to neutralize. Exhaling, emptying it out. And then we'll inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, folding down. We'll inhale to lift halfway. And exhale, fold down. Now step back with the right foot coming into a high lunge. And if that's too much for you today, you can always drop the back knee. But we're going to stick with the high lunges just for building that strength and feeling that stability and security in ourselves. So we're going to reach the fingertips forward and draw them up to the ceiling, coming into our high lunge. So you can have that back leg straight, or you can bend the knee. And even it's nice to bend the knee to start, just to really stabilise the hips and get them square to the front of the room. And then maybe you can start to reach the heel back, straightening out the back leg. Do 1 more inhale. Exhaling out. And we're going to reach the fingers forward and down, framing the front foot and stepping back to our downward facing dog. So we can bend the knees here, reach the hips up, and press the hands as if they're going down and underneath the carpet or underneath your mat. That really helps to shift the shoulders back towards the hips. We'll do 1 more inhale. Empty out the exhale. I'm going to lift the right foot up to the ceiling. Bring it to the knee or to the nose and step it through between the hands. And then coming up again, fingers in front, and then lifting into your high lunge. Again, you can start with the back knee bent, squaring the hips, lowering them down, checking your front knee is over the ankle, and then reaching the back heel back. Getting tongue-tied here. Gazing forward, 1 more inhale. And then exhale, folding the hands down and stepping the back foot forward, folding over the legs. We'll inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, taking the arms wide, bringing them overhead. And exhaling them back down to the heart. We'll just close down the eyes here, then the hands come down by the side. And just noticing how the body feels, the rhythm and pace of the breath. And blinking open the eyes. We're going to repeat that again and add a bit of a variation to our lunge. So standing top of the mat, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, diving down. Inhale, lifting halfway, reaching back through those hips, reaching forward to the heart, and exhale, folding down. Framing the front foot with the fingertips, you step back with the left foot this time, reaching the fingertips forward and then up. Bending that back knee to lower the hips down and then reaching back through the heel. We're going to take the fingertips out in front. Right hand is going to come around to 3 o'clock, maybe around to 4, maybe around to 5, twisting towards that front leg. So try and have the fingers at shoulder height, looking over to the right. One more inhale. Exhale, bring the fingertips out in front, taking them down to the hand or down to the mat, and stepping back to downward facing dog. Again, bend the knees to lift the hips up, pressing the hands down and forward into the mat. And breathing. Next, inhale, take the left foot up to the ceiling. Bringing the knee to your nose, stepping the foot through. I always have trouble with that. Framing the front foot, reaching the fingertips forward and then coming up. We have our left knee in front this time. I'm going to take the fingertips out in front, and then the left hand is going to come back to 9, maybe to 8, maybe to 7, maybe all the way to 6. We're reaching out through both fingers, twisting through the spine. Maybe looking at the back hand. One more inhale. Exhale, taking the fingers all the way forward. Then I'm going to come down to the mat, stepping forward again, folding over the legs. Inhaling, lifting halfway, hands coming onto the shins. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, taking the arms wide, bringing yourself up to standing. And exhale, hands down to the heart. You can release the hands down. Again, checking the feet are hip distance apart. We're going to come into our chair pose. So feet are hip distance. We're going to inhale, take the fingers up. Exhale, bend at the knees, lowering your bum down. So you can keep the arms reaching up, or you can take the hands down to the heart, taking them into namaste or prayer pose. Tucking in the tailbone, trying to tuck in the ribs. So we're not sticking out the chest. Really pressing those feet into the mat, trying to lower an inch. And then we'll exhale, hinge the hips, fold down. You take hold of opposite elbow, letting the arms release out the shoulders as they weigh down towards the ground. Release the fingertips down. And inhale to lift halfway. And exhale, fall down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift halfway. And this time we're going to bend the knees, lowering the sit bones, reaching the fingertips up, bringing them into prayer. Coming again into our chair pose. So tucking that tailbone in. Chest is up and forward, so we don't want to be rounding the top of the back. One more inhale. And exhale, pressing into the feet and bringing yourself back up to standing. So you're going to give the legs a little shake out. That can be a bit of a burner of the thighs. So we're going to come into a balancing pose now, tree pose, one of my favourites. So we're going to stand on the right leg. So really reaching that foot down, maybe lifting up the toes, planting them back down. Really feeling the strength in the leg. And we'll come onto the big toe and turn the knee out to the side. So we're keeping our hips square and facing the front of the room. If you're new to balancing poses, you can stay here, taking the hands to prayer. If you want to give it a go with taking the foot off the ground, you can take the sole of the foot onto the the calf. And if you want to give it even more of a go, maybe not for me today, you can take the sole of the foot onto the inner thigh. Just making sure you're not putting the foot on the knee joint here. We don't want that pressure on the knee joint. It would not be a good outcome. So wherever you are, just grounding that right foot into the mat, trying to pull that knee out to the side as much as possible, and then lifting the fingertips up to the ceiling. You can take them out wide here. So looking forward and ahead. Try not to look down at the ground. Looking forward and ahead really helps you stabilise and feel confidence in this pose. It helps you focus and centre as well. If you have wobbles or falls, that's totally fine. You're just building your muscles. Next time you come to it, the muscles will be that bit stronger. You'll just get better and better at it. One more inhale. Exhale, hands back together. Taking them down to the heart, releasing out the legs, giving them a little shaky shake before we do the other side. So coming onto the left leg this time, really rooting that foot down, lifting up the toes, spreading them and planting them back down. Sometimes it's nice to kind of bend the knee a little bit just to feel that you're putting the weight into the leg. And coming onto the right big toe, drawing the knee out to the side. You can stay here, or you can slide the foot up so it's on the calf. Or you can take it all the way up to the inner thigh. Hips square to the front. Shoulders relaxed. And then bring the fingertips overhead once you've gotten your balance. Maybe taking the hands wide. Ooh, I'm wobbly on this side today. So focusing on that point in front of you. Slowing down the breathing. So if you're finding you're very wobbly, drawing that inhale slow and long into the belly. And slowly, smoothly letting the exhale leave the body. One more inhale. Exhale, taking the hands back together, down to the heart, releasing out the legs, give them a nice little shake out, and then we're going to come into a squat. So if you want to come up to the top of your mat, both ends of my mat are the top now. I'm getting confused. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance, toes pointing out ever so slightly. So I can also show you from the front. And then we're going to take the hands to prayer, tuck the bum in, tuck the ribs in. We're going to slowly start bending the knees, lowering ourselves down, looking forward, chest is up, and just keep going, going, going. You might find that you get to a point where you can't go any further. You can try lifting up the heels, see can you get down. And if you can keep the heels down, you're just sending the weight towards your bum, towards the heels of the feet, so you can lower yourself down, coming into our squat. So you can take the hands onto the mat, or take the upper arms on the inside of the knees, pushing them out, hands in prayer. We'll just do one inhale, one exhale, and then taking the hands out in front and just taking the weight back, coming onto your bum, extending the legs out in front, reaching the toes up to the ceiling, inhaling, lifting up, and exhale, reaching the chest forward, letting the hands come as far as they can go. So maybe they're coming onto the shins or onto the knees, or maybe they reach the toes. We'll inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. We'll exhale, fold down. Inhale, growing the spine, looking forward. Exhale, folding down, looking down. Inhale, lifting the chest, looking forward. Exhale, folding down. Just staying here now for a few breaths. You can close down the eyes if you like. Each breath really filling up the back of the rib cage, feeling the space being created between the shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, rolling back up to seated. We're going to keep the legs out in front, but you're going to take the left leg in. Can't really see my feet, I don't think. So left leg in, stepping it over the right, or you can leave it where it was, hugging that left leg in, inhaling, and then exhale, left hand comes behind you, you're twisting to the left, taking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee and twisting around. So you can look at the side of the room first. We don't want to just crank into it. So we'll take our time looking at the side of the room. Each breath creating loads of space, filling up throughout the torso, around the spine. Each exhale lets you twist and release a little deeper, You slowly might take the gaze to the back of the room. One more inhale. We'll exhale, unwind, swapping out the legs, taking the right knee in this time, either staying here or stepping over the left. Inhale to hug it in, then exhale, right hand comes behind you, twisting to the right. So you can take the left elbow outside the right knee, fingers reaching up to the ceiling, gazing to the side of the room. One more inhale. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, twisting. One more inhale. Exhale, releasing all the way out in front. Extending the legs, maybe giving them a little bit of a bounce. We're going to reach the fingertips forward and just rolling down onto the mat. Reaching the fingertips up. Toes come up. Just going to move forward. And then we're just going to shake the arms and legs out. Especially if you're sitting them up, this will be so nice. Just to give the legs and arms a bit of a shake, get the blood flowing in a different direction. And then we'll bring them to stillness, still reaching them up in the sky. Just feeling all that energy settle through the legs and the arms, coming down to the body, to the torso. We'll let the arms come down by our side. Let the feet come down. We'll hug the knees in, maybe lifting the head up. Maybe rocking side to side here. And let the feet come down onto the mat, shifting your hips just an inch over to the left, and then the knees can come over to the right. And the arms can come out long if you have the space, or if not, you can bend at the elbows, fingertips pointing to the back of the mat. You can keep the gaze here looking up to the ceiling, or taking it the opposite direction of the knees. Just letting your body sink into this nice spinal twist here. Maybe even closing down the eyes. And then next inhale, taking the knees back to center, centering the hips and then inching them over to the right, dropping the knees to the left. Walking the heels away from your body so that your knees are at a 90-degree bend. And then taking your gaze again either to the ceiling or opposite direction of the knees. Next inhale takes you back to center. You can hug the legs in one last time before extending them out. So taking the left heel towards the left corner of the mat, right heel towards the right corner. Arms just coming away from the body, palms facing up. So you come into Shavasana, corpse pose. Just take some time to let all that energy that we've just created, that strength and stability in our legs, just letting that infuse and integrate into our bodies and into our minds. Knowing that we support ourselves, that we can look after ourselves and do anything once we've got that strength and stability within ourselves. Gently taking the attention back into the room that you're lying in, feeling your body pressing off of the ground, the pressure points, maybe the head, the shoulders, the hips, the calves and the heels. Visualizing the space around you. Gently starting to make some movement with your hands, your fingers, your toes. Maybe moving the legs, the arms. Maybe taking the head side to side. And reaching the hands overhead, stretching out the whole entire body. Taking a great big inhale here. Exhale, releasing it out and taking the knees in, rolling over to your right side. So your hands can come underneath the head, making a little pillow. And then pushing up, coming up to seated, trying to keep the eyes closed. Coming into a comfortable seat here. Just taking the shoulders down the back, checking you're sitting up nice and tall. Turning the palms to face up to receive whatever it is that you need today. And then taking your hands to prayer at the heart center. Bowing your head to your heart, your head and your heart to your body, and bowing down to the earth. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the standing practice. I think it's really fun, especially when we're all working from home and not out and about as much. I think it'd be really nice to do as your part of your lunch break or at the end of your work day, but feel free to do it any time of day as well. But great, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Bye!